Good morning and welcome to Homestead Kickoff Week. I'm Amber.
I'm Josh.
And we're going to be your host for this week. We are homesteading in North Carolina on just under 3 acres, and we want you to know that you can homestead anywhere. And this week is all about teaching you how to turn your backyard into a place where you can grow food and enjoy time with your family.
Our hope over the next 10 days is to not only highlight how you yourself can take advantage of homesteading on your own property, where you are, wherever you are, however you are. We want you to feel empowered to do so. So over the next 10 days, we're not just trying to tell you how easy homesteading is, because there's a lot of work that goes along with it. There's a lot of failures that you can find along the way. Trust us, we've seen most of them. And since we have seen those and we have walked through them, we want to kind of tell you some areas that you can maybe avoid and tell you some of the experiences that we've gained along the way. And the good news is we don't know it all, but we have a lot of friends that seem to kind of have a pretty good grasp on things.
We got a good network.
Yeah, and so the areas where maybe we haven't struggled, someone else has. And so that kind of helps fill in the gaps for you.
And so that's kind of how this whole thing came about. We get questions literally every single day, and at some point it just became unmanageable. We cannot answer them all as much as we want to. So what we've been doing is taking your questions and trying to see what are the areas that we could teach about that would be most helpful, and that's how Homestead Kickoff Week was born. So for the next 10 days, there will be free live workshops just like this, live on Instagram. You can get the full schedule. All the information is linked in my bio. If you click on Grace Walk Farm up there, it'll take you right to where you need to go. And there's sort of something special that goes along with all of this.
That's right.
So I wrote a new book. Did you guys know that?
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
I knew that.
So I wrote a brand new guide about companion planting, which is like my favorite gardening topic ever to talk about. Because companion planting is really what got us to a place where we could truly do organic gardening.
It's gardening for gardening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the recipe for gardening.
Like from the start, we wanted our homestead to be all organic, right? But then you start actually doing it, and it's like, is this even possible? Like, somebody's hiding some tricks.
And there's definitely a learning curve that goes along with it. I don't want you to get the idea that the first year we went out there and we figured out companion planting, and because of that we didn't have any bugs, we didn't have any issues, and it was the best harvest ever. Reality check, it took about 3 years for the companion planting to fully kick in. Now the first year we didn't know what we didn't know. Second year got a little better. Third year got way better as far as pest pressure. So it takes time. They're really, anybody that tells you they know 100% the safeguards to do to be successful with gardening, with homesteading, I wouldn't trust them, because there are so many things that you can do, so many things that can go wrong. Nobody has all the answers, but one of the things that seems to be a constant across the board is time. It takes patience. No matter what you're doing, and that can be the same in any walk of life, whether you're a civil engineer, or a janitor, a gardener, a truck driver, you have to be patient. If you're not patient, you're going to rush your results, and it's never going to go the way you want it to.
That's right. And so with companion planting, you're getting very strategic by like matching up certain herbs or flowers with your vegetables to either trap the pests so they stay off your vegetables, or to repel them completely where they don't come into your garden. And so in my new book, what I've done is I've broken it down by vegetable. You can go to the carrot section and read what you should plant around your carrots. You can go to the tomato section. I see you guys sharing tips. Thank you for this. Yes, the 3 Sisters method, that's in there. And then you also get layouts, so you can actually like see what is this supposed to look like in an actual garden bed.
And the really neat thing about the layouts, I think it's going to encourage you to see things can be a little bit different. And what I mean by that, it's really easy to see pictures of gardens, to see videos of gardens, and to think that it has to be a certain way in order to be successful. I am super guilty of that. The older I get, the less reliant on things like that I am. I'm getting a little bit more freedom in my older age. But for some reason, we feel like it has to be a certain way. It has to look a certain way. There's a lot of different layouts in the book that's going to show just how wild and how different you really can be.
Yeah. So I see lots of you are asking, what's the name of the book? Where do you get it? The name of the book is Better Together, and this is the best news of all. We decided to launch this book during Kickoff Week as part of the Homestead Bundle, so you get it for less than $1. So that's fun. So to get it, all you got to do is you can go to any post on my page. It will not work on lives, but you can go to any post on my page and comment Kickoff, and it will automatically send you the links you need. Or you can go up here to Grace Walk Farm, the link in my bios. It's all there for you. It's all waiting, laid out. If you're on the email list, I've already sent it to you this morning. Everything you need is easy to find. Now, what is the Homestead Bundle? Some of you already know about it because you've bought the ones we've done each year. This is like our third year doing a Homestead Bundle.
I think it's the 4th year.
Yeah, and each year they get better. And so this year it includes 78 different books and courses on topics like gardening, herbs, sourdough, composting, and soil. There's tons of good stuff in there. It's a $4,800 pack of books, courses, and classes, and it's only $50. But you have to get it this week. That's the catch.
So it's over 75 books and courses for under $50.
Yeah.
Am I hearing that correct?
For $50, yeah. So they're less than $1 a piece, which is pretty crazy because some of those courses in there sell for like $4.97 by themselves.
Right.
So, all right. So we told you about everything going on, but now we want to tell you a story, and then we're going to do a giveaway. So stick around.
All right. It's story time.
Story time. Get your coffee.
So a few years ago, if you have followed this channel for any amount of time, then you know that about 5 years ago we started our homestead journey. And like most anyone else, we had lots of questions, and more importantly, we did not know what we did not know.
We didn't know what we were doing at all.
We had no idea what we were doing. We just had a dream, we had a vision, we knew what we wanted to do, and so we set off to do it. That's the first thing I want to encourage you about this morning. The idea for this week is to give you hope. Hope that you can do what you want to do. Hope that you can follow your vision. Hope that regardless of where it is that you want to go on this journey, you can do it and you can be successful. And we are living testimonies. About 5 years ago, we started our homestead journey. And in so doing, we started gardening on a pretty large scale. And one of the things that we learned is that gardening is basically annual. Meaning, if you've ever gone to the store and you've bought flowers, you can either buy annuals or perennials. Annuals are flowers that you have to plant every year. Perennials are flowers that come back generally every year. And so gardening, as we do it, is typically annual because most things have to be planted at a certain time throughout the year.
Every year.
Every year. And that's really cool. We love to garden, and we have figured out in our zone ways that we can grow basically year-round. Maybe not 12 months, maybe more like 10 months a year. And we can be pretty productive. But one of the things that we fell in love with is not just the annual planting, it's the perennials. We love the long-term stuff.
Yeah, so I think one of the mistakes that we made when we first started is we jumped right into the vegetable garden, and we didn't really think about perennial food that we could have started on our property. And if we had started that first, we would already probably be harvesting more food, and we would probably have a whole better income source to fund our vegetable gardens. We kind of did it backwards, but we're fixing it now. And that brings us to what we're adding. You want to tell them about it?
Yeah.
This is sort of his pet project.
Yeah, so, yeah, I guess it is. So, last February, my dad and I started planting apple trees on his property. And they have a beautiful piece of land out in the country away from everyone else. Plenty of room to do what we wanted to do. And so, since then, we have put in 138 apple trees. And we have put in 60 peach trees. So Those of you that are good with math know that's 198 trees, almost 200 trees that we've added to the property and to a fruit orchard. And that's really the long-term plan. That's the perennial garden that I'm talking about. There are so many avenues that you can go down when you decide that you want to grow your own food. You can grow food in as little as 30 days, and you can grow food that's going to take you 4, 5, 6, 7 years. You know, it just depends on what you want to do and how you want to approach it. One of the things that I've learned over the past few years of starting the fruit orchard is that patience is key. Trees are a lot different than your plants. They grow a lot slower. They require a few different touches, if you will. But one thing is the same. They like to live. They want to grow. They need to be tended to just like your garden does. So whether you're doing annual planting or perennial planting, they're going to require some of the same things. It's just going to be on a little bit different scale. For instance, with the apple trees, we have, at the moment, we're going to add more, but we have 3 varieties that we've got. Macintosh, Gala, and Honeycrisp. And then on the peach side, we have Redskin peaches. Now, the reason that we have those varieties, peaches aside, because we only have one variety there, the reason we have those varieties of apples is because that kind of staggers our harvest a little bit, gives us a larger window to kind of harvest from. But we'll also be adding more that are going to come into harvest at a later time or an earlier time, depending on where we want to fall in the calendar.
Yeah, so apples are sort of a long-term dream. And the thing with our apple orchard and the peaches, but especially the apples, is we're not going to be able to eat from those trees for a while. And here's why. So we really wanted to follow the biblical model for how to plant fruit trees. Does the Bible speak to fruit tree planting?
Actually, it
yes,
does.
It does. It has quite a bit to say about it. So, Josh, run through, like, what's the Bible's model for fruit trees, and, like, what challenge did it land us with?
Okay, so basically, God is pro-food, and he's very much pro-orchard. When it comes, in fact, the Bible itself speaks directly about fruit trees. In fact, in the book of Deuteronomy, it mentions that even if you go to war, that you're not supposed to tear up everybody's fruit trees. You're not supposed to cut them down. You're not supposed to pull them up. You're supposed to show respect for them because it is such a long-term process and because it does yield food. And so there's supposed to be kind of rules of engagement, if you will. Beyond that, there is a method to the madness, if you will. There's a way that you're supposed to do this, a correct way and a wrong way, based on the biblical model. And that is, you put your trees in the ground and you don't harvest from them for 5 years.
Now, they'll grow apples sooner than that.
In fact, we have apple trees on the property now that are producing. We have peach trees that have been in the ground less than 4 months, and they're already going to start producing if we don't pull the buds off. Which leads me to the next thing. In order to be a good steward of the land, in order to be a good steward of those trees, and in order to encourage better root growth and better fruit production and more long-term health, it's best if you follow that biblical method and do not allow your trees to harvest or to produce fruit for at least the first 5 years, maybe 4, because it's going to encourage stronger root growth, better development of limbs. Furthermore, young trees that produce fruit can often overproduce, and in the long term, that's going to hinder the growth of the tree. It can and typically will break the branches of the tree because the fruit's too heavy. It's not ready for it.
There's such a lesson in that. Like, those baby fruit trees are like baby homesteaders, just like us.
They are ready to go.
Like, we want the fruit, but our branches aren't strong enough yet to maintain it all because we don't know what we're doing when we start, and that's okay. And so, in the same way, like our baby fruit trees, we're pinching those blossoms off and pinching the fruit buds off. When you're a baby homesteader, you're going to want to do 17,000 different homesteady things. Yeah. You got to pinch those off. And you got to get real firm in your roots and knowing, you know, how and why and when. Like, get your education underfoot first.
You know, that's a good life principle
Yeah.
because it's so easy to get spread thin. I love doing lots of different things, and I'm fairly good at a lot of different things. But if I try to do everything all the time, I'll get nothing done. I have to find a handful of things that I can do and knock them out. And the same thing is going to be true for your homestead journey. It's certainly been true in what I've seen in the apple orchard. Now, people have asked why we're waiting. So the idea, according to the Bible, is that you put your trees in the ground and you don't touch them for 5 years. The reason I said maybe 4 is because on the 4th year, you have a first fruits offering.
This is my favorite part.
Meaning anything that comes on that 4th year, you can collect it, you can harvest it, you just don't sell it.
You can't eat it.
You can't eat it, but somebody else can. You can give it away. And the idea is that it's not for me, it's for you. Or someone else that might need it, that might not ever be able to afford it, so to speak. And so it's a first fruits offering. Yes, I have fruit that I could eat. Yes, it would be financially beneficial. No, I'm not going to take advantage of it right now. I'm going to hold off for 1 more year. We're going to get to year number 5. And on year 5, not only are we going to have a harvest, we're going to have a better harvest. And the Lord always promises good. He doesn't promise bad things. So on the 5th year, what you thought was great on year 4 is going to be double in year 5.
Yeah, and so we kind of came to this place of, okay, what's this going to look like in practicality? Because you know it's going to be so tempting in year 4 not to eat those apples. And we've been throwing around ideas like we could make applesauce and we could can it and give it to food pantries. We could, take our freeze dryer and turn it into like freeze dried apple chips and stock our local food pantries with healthy snacks, because we all know like what they usually have is not. Maybe we just give them all away. Like, there's just so many cool things that can come from it.
I'm cool with giving them away.
Yeah. Maybe we'll give some apples to some of you guys in year 4.
That'd be cool.
So, I just, I would encourage you to think about first fruits, because first fruits is a concept that can apply to all areas. And so we're about to apply it to Homestead Kickoff Week.
Yep.
So, as we mentioned earlier, I have a new book that's in the Homestead Bundle. This Homestead Bundle is a collaboration between a whole bunch of people. You get 78 books and courses in there. Before we offer you the bundle for purchase,
we're going to give something away.
We're going to have a first fruits giveaway, and we're going to gift one to one of you. And so here's what you're going to be getting, okay? It's a $4,800 value. And it includes 78 books and courses. It covers gardening, herbs, soil health. If you've got red clay soil that you need to get fixed, this is going to show you how. It covers livestock. There's courses about how to raise chickens, how to butcher and process chickens at home if you want to do that. There's stuff in there about raising rabbits, about backyard quail if you have an HOA and can't do chickens.
There's information about sheep.
Yes, we love the sheep book.
And that kind of speaks to my heart, because I didn't know this until just recently, but sheep are great pasture animals for an orchard, because they won't eat our apple trees. They won't eat our apple. They might eat the apples if they fall on the ground, but that's not what they want to eat. And they certainly won't hurt the trees, and they'll be great for the apple orchard, for the soil health. So that was something that I was excited about, because I don't know a whole lot about sheep, admittedly, but I'm going to.
Yeah. Like, literally, it has every topic that a beginner homesteader could need. That's why we love the bundle. That's why we're part of the bundle.
I love reading, and I learn something new. And it's usually more than one something. Every year when we do a bundle, there is a new book. There's usually a trove of books that are new with a lot of information. And I love learning new things, because I don't want to stay where I'm at. And I would imagine most of you are the same way. You love to learn new things. This has new things.
And it's been fun, even as a contributor to the bundle. Like, every year when I open it up, I'm like, oh, I learned this skill since the one last year, Like, it just builds, which is fun. So let's give somebody a bundle.
Let's give a bundle away.
All right, so here's how you're going to enter. Let's start our week with gratitude. So comment something you're grateful for. We're going to give you a few minutes to start commenting things you're thankful for. Let's just fill these comment sections up with things that you want to say. This is a blessing in my life. And then here in a few minutes, we are going to choose one of you, and we're going to send you the big bundle.
Yep.
All right. So while we're letting them comment, what are you thankful for?
Well, okay, I'll give you a 40,000-foot view.
Okay.
I'm thankful for health. I'm thankful for health because I've seen over the past few years my health get better, and I've seen most definitely your health get better.
Yeah.
And you've been able to go from wanting to do things to doing things because you could. Same for me. So I'm thankful for health.
Yeah, that would be pretty much at the top of my list too. We're actually going to share some of our health stories during lives this week. Josh is going to be sharing his journey from being in heart failure to being a full-time homesteader. And I'm going to share my Lyme disease story and how I got well from Lyme disease. So we've both had some major health things that really were resolved by homesteading. So
and I dare say that the vast majority of you folks could say the same thing that we do. Most everybody knows what it's like to have serious, in some cases, life-threatening issues, things that you have to deal with, things that are life-altering, if not life-threatening. And so I know that we're not alone. I know that a large number of people can identify with that.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to look at things like our health and say, well, I wish I could do X, Y, or Z, but I can't. I've been there. I know what that looks like. Amber's been there. She knows what that looks like.
Yeah.
And so I'm thankful that we're not there right now.
And a word of encouragement, like we started sick.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get well, learn to homestead, and then homestead. We were sick, broke, tired, had no idea what we were doing, and we kind of just went for it.
Well, it's kind of like how we come to Jesus.
Yeah.
We don't come to Jesus cleaned up and ready to go. We come to Jesus as a hot mess, and He cleans us up and makes us ready to go.
That's it.
So if you're waiting to do homesteading, once you've got all the money in the world and all the time in the world, you'll never do it.
Yeah. It's all a journey.
Yeah.
I am loving all of these things. We are a grateful community. We have lots of blessings. All right, we'll do a 30-second last chance. Drop something you're grateful for.
Yep.
And we're going to give away one of the bundles. And then we're going to offer you a chance to grab one. Even if you're not the winner, you really are if you get a $4,800 library for $50.
That's right.
Love these comments. So many good things. And what I've noticed, we've got people watching from Indonesia, the Netherlands, India, Canada, the United States. Like, this is wild.
That's really neat.
So cool how God has brought this community of people together. All right, you want to pick a winner?
Yeah. How do you want me to do it?
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to scroll, and wherever my finger lands, I'm going to just get in the section and go up and down, keep it fair.
Right there.
All right, call it out.
That is... I don't know how to say that. You're going to have to say it.
This one?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it wrong, too. Mustang Mama, like Mustang Mama, but M-Y.
Mustang Mama? Do you have a Mustang? It sounds like you have a Mustang.
Well, that's kind of fun. So you have won our bundle, and here's how you're going to claim it. You are going to email me, okay? gracewalkfarm@gmail.com. Put bundle winner in the subject line, and then I will send you your bundle before lunchtime today.
Yep.
Okay? Now, for everybody else, the big question, how do you grab it? You got two options. You can go to any post on my page, not this live, but any post, and comment kickoff, and that will take you to the schedule of classes for this week and to the bundle, so you can look it over, decide if it's for you. Or you can just go right up here to where it says Grace Walk Farm, click that, and then go to my bio, and there are links there to everything you will need this week.
And this is not a one-off. We are going to be doing lives multiple times a day for 10 days.
That's right.
I mean, you're probably going to get tired of seeing it.
So let me tell you where you can hang out with us for the rest of the day. Later today at 2 p.m., I'm going to do a class on what to do if your soil is bad. And we are going to deep dive on how to fix that red clay soil that gives us all trouble. And then at 6 p.m. tonight, we are going to do a Stories of Hope. And we're bringing in our friends Zach and Savannah, who have a crazy story. Speaking of health.
It's pretty wild.
So Zach was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer. and he chose a completely different path than the doctor wanted him to do. And you guys are going to have to hear their story. Like, it's just wild. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set a reminder for that one. You don't want to miss it. And then our final class of the day will be hosted by my friend Natalie at Hey It's a Good Life. And she is going to give you the practical how to make compost and how to create a worm farm. So you can watch that class on her page tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Awesome.
I think we covered it.
I think we got it all.
And we got it in half an hour.
We did it.
We're trying to keep these kickoff calls pretty quick for y'all in the morning. So,
oh, and these will be available at future times. If you want to go back and watch, if you've missed something, if you want to pick up a detail, all of this information is going to be recorded.
Yeah, we're going to post all of the labs to the Instagram page so you can get back to them. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us. Happy kickoff week. Go get your bundles. And I guess we'll see you at 2 o'clock for our next class.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Bye, y'all.